the legend of Big T was greatly overblown. But before we did the basketball challenge, what I was going in was Titus can hit 10 in a row whenever he wants, and so can Big T. Titus hit 10 in a row pretty much. I mean, he had to shoot 90 plus the entire night. And I can't imagine going an hour 13, 14, being like, hey, buddy, we need 10 in a row, 10 in a row. And he did it. Big T took himself out of the lineup.
Yeah, I was like, you were. He also checked out. He gave up during the he
couldn't do it. He said he didn't have his. He said now again, I don't know how good he was to begin with. Like when I heard Big T was a lights out free throw shooter, I was surprised to begin with. I never really saw it. He didn't have it that day, so
yeah, should have done a dodging high noon cans contest.
Yeah,
he would have been fucking.
Can we talk about? Yeah, you getting ready to break Brandon Walker's jaw?
Well, I was going to say the funny thing is, so everybody, I have never in my life gotten praised for like I've gotten for this free throw shooting event. Keep in mind,
it was incredible.
I mean, thank you. It was, I think even Dave was impressed.
Yeah, very good free throw shooter. There's two things. I was surprised you essentially took yourself out at the end.
I was trying to be a team player, but that was a mistake. What I should have done.
Because I tried to put you back in, and that kid in the Cavs, it just didn't stick. I gave a whole speech.
My mistake was I was thinking I was going to hurt because I was tired and missed stuff. But what I should have done was just been the first guy to go, because who cares?
100%.
Yeah, I think you were trying to explain that to me, right?
Yeah.
But I was so fucking tired and out of it. I didn't understand what you were saying. I really did.
Did you not hit any of the final 41?
No,
Kirk?
I did not.
He was out of the lineup.
So I'm getting all the praise for that. I wasn't even in the final 41. Everyone, I was at the DePaul game last night. Like people, I was like flying up to me saying what a great job I did.
You were lights out. You were lights out. You were great.
But the other thing is, everyone in this company who was there was like, the other thing is, I can't believe like what a great vibes guy Kirk was during it. He was such a positive guy. During this event, I threatened to break the jaw of a coworker and I think murder him at one point. So like the vibes,
and I was right there with it was.
Dave was trying to diffuse the situation.
I did. He was in his face. I'm like, please don't punch. Pat Beverly was there. Pat Beverly got out. He's like, when two white guys start fighting, I get the fuck out of there.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
I mean, so Kirk, it was like Brandon wasn't chirping you, but it was one of those. It's
I totally
reacted.
Well, not only reacted, Brandon was complimenting.
Correct. Yeah. No, I've said to Brandon, I never 100% on me. I overreacted. I was out of it. I was tired. I was busting my ass on this thing. There were people at the company like, I don't know. When you're asked to do an event like this, I consider it, honestly, whether it's the Ryder Cup or Surviving Barstool, you guys know I go 1,000%. So does Dave. So does, if you do something, so does Dan. There are people who were invited who were falling asleep, who left for a while. I was getting pissed off at people. And I was like, I'm 50 years old. I'm busting my fucking ass. And I heard Brandon in the corner of my ear say like, and we know Kirk's going to start missing soon. So like, let's get rid of him. Brandon hadn't done the fucking thing. So I was basically like, what the, he's like, take it easy, suicide boy. And Davis asked me.
That's not what happened.
Davis,
he complimented you.
He didn't say that? He didn't say that?
He complimented you. He didn't say suicide boy.
Dave, he did say that.
I don't think he did. I thought he originally said,
whatever.
Kirk must be dead right now, like saying like he's made so many,
correct.
He's got to be gassed.
No, but he also made a couple of which I don't care about.
No, that was after. He complimented you.
But he did.
You attacked him for the compliment, and then he said like suicide jokes, and then you say it again. He said it again. Next thing you knew, you were in a crouch in his face in that trivia pose, been, I'll break your jaw. And I'm like, how did this happen? He just complimented you.
I break his jaw.
The best part was for me watching that Dave's usually in the midst of these interactions and arguments, and he's sitting there, he's going, let it go.
Why is this?
Let it go.
The takeaway.
Well, what do you do? We've been here for like 10 hours. You got a crazy person. Another guy
saying, why is this the takeaway? I busted my ass for you. I made a million.
No, you were clutch.
Great team player.
But that was a pretty.
Go ahead.
You lost it that moment. Like
I'm saying I was tired. I'm old. My legs I was busting my ass. Yes, I've said I'm wrong. I was wrong.
And Walker is the worst because he never there's nobody who can read a situation less than Brandon Walker. Like he didn't do anything in that situation. He should have but then once Kirk went at him, he escalated. Like I've joked with Kirk many times, like about, right? He doesn't care. He takes it. This time he took it, but it was obvious. Like if it was me, I would have never said it again. It's like clearly it hit a nerve in that moment. let it go. No, not Brandon Walker. He doubled down, and then next thing I knew, they were jaw to jaw. So Walker is just the absolute worst at reading situations and de-escalating situations. He's never done it once. He doesn't know how to do it. He's an idiot. And I told him when Kirk got up, I go, I know you complimented him, but he misheard or something. It was, I've never seen somebody I saw a comment. They're like, I just got to the part where Kirk threatened to break Brandon's jaw for Brandon complimenting him that he was doing a great job.
I was tired. It was on me.
Man.
But he could have said I was old. He could have said I had a receding hairline. It wasn't the suicide thing. It was just the line itself.
No, but the original line was a pure compliment.
It was a straight up like, you're unbelievable.
I know.
Yeah, it's like, you're carrying this. How much longer can we expect Kirk to hit every free throw? He's like, I'll break your jaw.
Well, that's why I'm there. A couple of questions, just some final follow-up from this, which was, I thought, a great event. Awesome. I loved it. It was wild. Great time. Great buzz. Is Mantis going to get a job again with the company full-time, yes or no? I have a Mantis story after.
I don't know that he wants one. I would give him one, but I think he does pretty well on his own at this point.
Okay. So I'm done with so we did the free throw thing, and then I did my show right after, literally go upstairs after, walk out, and Mantis is standing there in the hallway. And he says to me, hey, how do you think Dave is going to...
I heard this.
Oh, okay. Hand out the $100,000 that he's going to give us for winning the contest. And I was like, geez.
You guys were getting that?
Yeah. Because there's so many voices going on during this. You know, Dave, sometimes like in the middle of like the mini golf or whatever, you'll be like, I'm throwing a prize in here. Like whatever. Yeah. I'm thinking, oh, maybe Dave did that and I didn't know about it. Great for Mantis or whatever. And Mantis is like, yeah, look, he shows me his phone with the DraftKings $100,000 deal for the people betting on the event. He thought it was $100,000 for us.
Now, here's the thing about Mantis, too. I like Mantis. He won Barstool Idol. He specifically got fired because all he did was play basketball. Like, that's it. Like, it's like, hey, Mantis, go make content. He would just go shoot. And yeah, the first like 7 times you see the deformed guy walk into like a city park and surprise people, the deformed guy can shoot. It's interesting. The 100th and 20th, it's like, we get it. You can shoot. So he just, I was like, I told him, Mantis, I'm going to fire you if you just keep playing basketball every day. So he's in his element of playing basketball and he nailed it. And, you know, people seeing him. Yeah, honestly, the people walk into that gym were like Major League. Like, who are these fucking guys? You had Mantis, Pat Beverly. You had the kid that I just retweeted is so funny, Jerry's Ringer.
Unbelievable.
Oh, my God.
Horrible.
The kid who couldn't hit a shot?
I'll tell you what.
He airballed.
That was from a momentum perspective. We needed that at that point. Him being bad was better than him being like pretty good. Like, it was
just a comedy effect.
He comes in, Jerry's like, I got a ringer. He's like, I got a fucking ringer. The guy comes in, we start laughing right away. His first warm-up shot, he is airballed by 2 feet. He's 2 feet short of his airball. Then he comes over, he's all, do you see he left his shirt in the building?
No, I didn't see that.
He left his shirt.
Signed it for you guys?
He signed his uniform shirt, so we're going to retire it. But yeah, it was
and the thing that people got to understand about ringers, we didn't need good free throw shooters. Right. We didn't need great, like Kirk's a great free throw shooters. We needed Titus or better. And that guy from UNH.
Great.
I mean, where did he come from?
We just said we need shooters.
I thought he was like I thought he worked behind the scenes.
Jake Marsh was whatever, like, you know.
I think that guy went 39 of 40. No joke.
Yeah, he's from UNH.
He was money.
He was great.
Every shot.
Dave,
you know,
how did you feel on that last? Did you think you were going to make it or not?
Oh, that's what I had no idea. You had to be shitting yourself.
I didn't think. I hate to say it. I did not think you were.
It was a horrible shot, but
I'm not a good free throw shooter. I just wanted to get out of there so bad that the thought of missing and like potentially hours more being there. I just knew I had to get on the rim or Titus would kill me. That's who, by the way, of all the people, for me, that's who gained their stripes the most, Titus. You know, he comes from a different world. He came from the ringer a little bit.
A little soft. I like him, but he's a little soft.
He hung in there the entire time.
Yeah, I've never met him. I saw the clip of Kirk on the Yak. I mean, the Yak's a good vibe show. Kirk went in there with an atom bomb.
I don't fit in the Yak. That's not a good matchup. I'm friends with a lot of those guys.
Guys, like, we're trying to Yak.
They look at me. They're all like, what are you so angry about? I'm like, what the hell? I don't know why I'm so, because my dad was mean.
I'm always angry.
I know. I'm not going to be like, hey, let's go kick some fucking soccer balls. I don't know. I get mad about things. But
listen, he hung in there. I thought at times he was going to be like, I've had enough of this, because he's like, I got to hit 100 in a row for us to have a chance.
So whose stock
what was
is
the
down?
limit on how many in a row you could go?
10
in a row.
Whose stock is down? I got a few, but whose stock is down?
From that?
Yeah.
Nobody's stock was down for me.
No problem. Anybody falling asleep during it? Any guys from?
Well, here's the thing. There were guys that just useless. Like, I don't know who you're saying who fell. Oh, Rico?
Rico, yeah.
No, Rico is Rico. I can't believe how bad he is at shooting free throws for a guy who talks basketball and he has this little herky-jerky thing.
Well, he was slamming it on his pre-shot throws. He's like doing a med ball toss.
He's horrible. But no, because there's guys that we just didn't. Like, Kirk, you were needed. Like, Titus was needed. We had guys that's like, you're up. You don't have – I had to shoot every time. Big Cat, guys who had to be part of it. Then there were others – again, 70% wasn't going to cut it. 80%. You had to be able to reel off 10 in a row or you were useless.
Right. Yeah, so, I mean –
Where was my boy Hank? Like, wasn't he like a high school basketball player?
No, he not nearly good enough. He was very offended when I told him to take a seat.
Too much arc. What? Too much arc.
Yeah, way too much arc.
It was not. Yeah, it was not. Yeah, he didn't. There were guys who kept trying to put themselves back in the mix, and they would miss 3 in a row. And you're like, we just want to fucking get this done. This is like second grade. We're not handing out. Not everybody gets a fucking card. Like, let's just do it in the best we can. If the Rangers didn't come, we'd still be there now. Is there a point where you would have said we have to stop doing this?
Here's the problem,
You couldn't.
Smitty.
Right. I forgot about
so that. Smitty boxed me into a corner.
That's true.
That I never anticipated being in because he did that Fortnite stream.
That's right.
And it got so popular. And, at one point you got to reset it like we did because the stream goes too long, but you can go right back to it. Smitty didn't. He's like, I quit. It's the only time.
Like 20,000 watching at the time.
Minimum. It's the only time people have paid attention to Smitty in his life. And I've ridden him forever about it. And that was in my head. It's like, oh my God, if we quit, because this thing would have kept going, then everything I said about Smitty was disingenuous. So no, I would have had to die there. I would have had to die there.
I wanted to know.
We'd still be there now, you're saying.
I wanted to know if
I like
if
that.
it had kept going. Like, Dave, if you missed that last one, very clutch. If you missed that, like, realistically, you could still be there. I wonder if Big Cat would have skipped the one family vacation. Like, that was almost, I wanted to get to that. He would have had to.
He kept saying he was going. He's like, I'm going.
Yeah, that would have killed him. That would have absolutely killed him. But yeah, we're locked in because of Smitty. By a side note, I got a report who did the least amount of tweets for DraftKings.
Go ahead.
Guess who was number one last? Smitty.
So my thing is, I don't really know Smitty. Met him a couple
times. The worst.
Like, he's trying to get fired, right? At this point,
I think he just knows he can't. Like,
you'll never fire him.
I won't fire him whether he gets renewed. Who knows?
I mean, it's just.
Has anybody not been renewed lately, or no? Other than we talked about last week, anybody of note, or no? People ask me this to ask you all the time on the show now.
No, I don't think there's anybody who is. No.
I don't know. I don't know if anybody's up soon that you're going to not, No,
nobody has not been renewed.
Speaking of valuable people, like Pat Beverly, on a back-to-back in the NBA, driving from Milwaukee to do that, and then just driving back and being that guy. He seems like the man. That's a legit hire.
I was saying this last night. There are guys. You're one of them. Like, I almost think you're a really good player, obviously, good NHL player. Pat Beverly's a good NBA player. But, like, I think it's so much better when these guys are not, like, great players because they don't have super connection to reality at that point. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you said the Pat Bev retelling the Mantis story is one of the best retells of the story.
But just the fact, like, what do you say? Just the fact that he's like, yeah, I'll drive over here. Like, I'm in.
And they played the next night, right?
Yes.
That's and then the fact, the retelling of the story as he's like, Dave's telling me this boy can burn it. And he could. He burnt it.
Yeah, I told him. I remember telling him, I got a guy coming. He's fucking an assassin from the line, but he's deformed. He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, no, he's legit deformed. Like, he needs to, like, his body falls. Like, at one point, they're like, where did Mantis go? It's like, oh, he's going to put that brace on so his body doesn't fall apart when he's shooting.
Imagine, like, the Bucks head coach, like, what'd you do last night, Pev? I drove down to Chicago and shot free throws with a deformed guy. And ate McDonald's.
Wild, I'm telling you, it's that middle of the night thing. You're up all night. It's almost like he was never there. It was weird. It was like, if you asked me what time he got there, what time he left, I would have no idea.
There's two. We had to extend our hotel room. And I was like, no, we don't. It's like, we haven't stayed there. And then we're like, yeah, they're saying we do. It's like, no, we don't. It's like, oh my God, we slept. We just missed the hotel night.
Just the whole night. Yeah. At one point, somebody with time was, it said it's 3:40. I was like, holy shit.
Also, the timing of Tate coming in was
big.
Like we were on, I think we were late 30s. We were as far as we had been.
That's when Dan missed it. Yeah. He just showed up. He had like 6 in a row. Went to Dan. Dan missed. And that's when I was like, and I was telling us on my show, Dave and I at one point, like everyone kind of went on their ways, and Dave and I were actually rebounding for like a random person, and Dave looked at me, he's like, this is the lowest moment. This is what it looks like. And I was like, yep, we're never going to fucking do this ever.
Steve Che, underrated MVP,
EFT
rebounding for 100 hours straight with only the enthusiasm of somebody who has batteries. Like, you can't be a real human and just sit there for literally 10 to 14 hours rebounding the same pass that you did 1 versus 5,000.